Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Adam here, and today we're going to be doing a video on the OnePlus 7 Pro 8 months later. So how does it hold up now? So let's first talk about the design. The design is really great, in my opinion. Now, what I would say is that it does scratch kind of easily, and you can see there's some marks here and there. But besides that, it's pretty good. I mean, it's a really great design. So we got aluminum for the sides and glass on the back, which is pretty typical for a 2020 smartphone. Even though this was made in 2019, this still feels like a 2020 smartphone. The only thing that I would say that doesn't feel like a 2020 smartphone is the camera. The reason why is because usually now camera humps are on the side, but now, I mean, on this OnePlus 7 Pro, it's just in the middle. So yeah, and then on the front we got Gorilla Glass, and yeah. So now let's talk about the display. So we've got a 1440p AMOLED 90 hertz display. It's really great, super smooth. Now it isn't 120 hertz, which is my only complaint. But I love the curved sides. Most people don't like the curved sides, but personally for me, I really like the curved sides. So that's just my opinion. But probably your opinion is completely different from mine. Anyway, you could also see that we have no notch at all, and that's because we have a pop-up camera, which I will show you right now. This is while doing face unlock, and as you can see, this is what it looks like. It's a pop-up camera. It's fairly fast while doing like kind of face unlock and things like that. Let's just try this now. Yeah, it's really fast. So yeah, just a little demo there. So yeah. Now, for brightness, this actually gets really bright. I mean, I'm not going to change the brightness right now because it's on auto brightness, and I don't really like changing the brightness while it's on auto brightness because right now, actually, the brightness looks really good. It's almost on full brightness. But if we went into the sun here, you could basically see, automatically turn to full brightness. So that's pretty cool. But most phones could do that, to be honest. So yeah. Also, this has really great performance. This is the Snapdragon 855, 8 gigabytes RAM. However, you can get a 12 gigabyte model, and up to 256 gigabytes of storage. I have 256 gigabytes of storage, and overall the performance is good. But what I would say though is that it does have some stuttering while opening up a ton of apps. Like if you're opening up 6, 7, 8 apps without closing them, then it does start to lag a little bit, but really not that bad. Everything feels super smooth because of the 90 hertz, and also Oxygen OS software makes this experience even better. Now, speaking of Oxygen OS, Oxygen OS 10 is really great. I haven't been getting too many software updates though. Since the last video, I think I've only gotten one software update, and I'm on now Oxygen OS 10.0.7. I'm still on Android 10. The Android 11 update should be coming actually pretty soon. Some people have been estimating that it will come maybe in 2021, possibly, maybe January, February, because it did get delayed because of some problems with Hydrogen OS's code or something like that. I'm not really sure. Hydrogen OS is the China version software, but it also applies to Oxygen OS. Just they found a problem in the code, I guess, in Hydrogen OS, and so it also applies to Oxygen OS. So anyway, should be expecting a Android update pretty soon. And I am pretty excited for Android 11 Oxygen OS, even though I really don't like too many changes with Oxygen OS. Like, I would probably prefer to stay on Android 10, but I mean, I kind of just want to see a little bit of a change, so I'm going to switch to Android 11 once it comes out. Now, this is the T-Mobile variant, so it may come out like a few months after, most people get it, but yeah, who knows. So, gaming performance is really good on here, in my opinion. You could do Call of Duty Mobile, Fortnite, basically anything that you put at it, basically. Fortnite, you could do 60 FPS, I believe, epic or high settings. For Call of Duty Mobile, you could do 60 FPS, very high graphics, very high settings, basically everything really high, and just, yeah, really great gaming performance. But what I said before is that, like, normal performance, day-to-day tasks can sometimes feel a little bit sluggish if you're opening up a ton of apps very fast. Like if you're opening up settings and then, a game, and then closing out of all of that, and then, opening up another app, then it will start to, slow down a little bit. But overall, I still really like this performance. So now let's talk about the camera. So let's actually open up the camera app and take a quick picture, a little bit of a couple of sample photos. It is a little bit of a windy day today, so it should be a little bit of a challenging shot, getting a fully focused image. So yeah, let's just try that right now. Okay, so taking a shot with the main camera, and by the way, this is a 48 megapixel main camera. The secondary camera is a 16 megapixel ultra-wide, and we got a 3 times telephoto camera that's 8 megapixels. So this is the main 48 megapixel lens, but it is getting binned down to 12 megapixels. So this is what it looks like. Now, you can't really see it too well here, but what I see is that there's a great amount of detail. Only thing that I would complain about is dynamic range. Dynamic range doesn't look too good, in my opinion. And also, actually, mostly it's all good. I mean, it seems a little bit oversaturated, but I actually prefer oversaturated. I know a lot of people prefer natural colors, but personally, for me, I really like oversaturation in photos. So, yeah. And on the screen, it makes it look really great, like the photo. So yeah, overall pretty good. Now let's try the ultra-wide camera. Taking a shot with the ultra-wide camera actually looks really great. Like, it's almost as good as the main camera. A lot of people say that the ultra-wide camera isn't that good. I would actually disagree with that. The ultra-wide camera is really good. I would say it's more contrasty, it's more saturated, and it definitely doesn't look like 100% as good, but I would say it's at least 80% as good, and you get a wider field of view. And even better, you still get like autofocus and everything like that. So you could still get pretty close up to things. Now, you don't have a macro lens or anything like that, but I would definitely go with an ultra wide over a macro lens. Overall, there's a good amount of detail, definitely not as much detail but as the main lens, but you could clearly see that there's a decent amount of detail. Dynamic range is actually really great for an ultra-wide camera, and colors look really great. I mean, for me, I like the saturation and high contrast. So, yeah. Now let's take a photo with the telephoto lens. Taking a telephoto shot, it looks pretty good. I would say it's definitely not as good as the ultra-wide or the main lens. There's a decent amount of detail, not too much though. There is a good amount of background blur, which I like. I think this part right here looks really great, like down here. Up here it doesn't look too good because you can't see some of the image, so that means dynamic range is pretty bad. Yeah, definitely not as good, but I would say that it's a perfectly respectable telephoto camera. Really great. Well, not really great, but pretty good. And you should get some decent results out of this, even though the dynamic range isn't the best and the detail isn't the best, but still pretty good. It's 3 times. Even zooming to 10 times, let's actually try that out right now. Zooming to like 10 times, it still has a decent amount of detail. Like, here, let me just take a shot right now. And I am making this video a little bit longer than most, like, month reviews or whatever. But let's try that out. Just trying that out right now. Okay. As you can see, there's actually a decent amount of detail because of that 3 times telephoto camera. So you still get decent results from like 10 times. And I think they easily could have put like 15 times or 20 times digital zoom and it still would have looked completely fine. So that's just my opinion. But now let's go on to actually one of my favorite cameras. And that is this selfie camera. And normally, I would say that, 16 megapixel cameras on Android phones aren't that good. But this 16 megapixel camera is really great. Like, just for, I don't know what it is, but it looks really, really good. just in my opinion. And dynamic range, even though it's not the best, it's still really good. And taking videos with it is even better. Like, it looks really good for 1080p. So, yeah. I definitely need a haircut, by the way. Yeah, I don't know why, but I mean, this is like my hair's starting to get completely crazy. So, yeah. Finally, let's talk about battery life. I think that's a pretty important aspect of a phone. So let's talk about it. Battery life is okay. Um, I think I was a little bit harsh on my previous review when I said, it wasn't that good. I would say it's actually fine. It's 12:09 p.m. and we're at 63%. So far, I think I've used about, I would say, maybe 2 hours of screen on time, so not terrible. I would say you could get 4 to 5 hours on this. And if you switch it down to 1080p, then it's even better. I don't do that, though. Just because, in my opinion, I think that, you should always just, if you're paying for a phone that has 1440p and 90 hertz, then you should keep it on that. Like, I don't know a single person that has their OnePlus 7 Pro. I mean, I don't know too many people with a OnePlus 7 Pro, but the people that I do know with a OnePlus 7 Pro do not, like, they keep it at the full 1440p 90 hertz. Like, many YouTubers and things like that. That's what I meant, the people that I know. I don't know actually anyone personally that has a OnePlus 7 Pro. I do know someone with a OnePlus 7T, but not a OnePlus 7 Pro. But I know that they keep it on 90 hertz, so yeah. So anyway, now finally, let's talk about, is this worth it in 2020? In my opinion, I would say it's worth it. You should go get it. Be a little bit concerned about battery life, though. Like, if you want good battery life or great battery life, you're not going to get it here. You're going to get okay battery life. You're going to get, not mediocre, but you're going to get slightly better than mediocre. So, almost mediocre. But overall, if you want a phone that's fast, if you want a phone that has a pretty great camera setup all around, if you want really good selfie video recording, if you want great gaming performance, if you're a gamer, if you like pop-up cameras, if you want a phone that is amazing for a $350 price point or a $300 price point, you should get this phone. This is an amazing phone. Bezels are like nothing. There's no bezels or anything. This is an amazing phone. I know I'm just keep rambling on about this, but this is truly an awesome phone. I'll probably keep this for a pretty long time. I mean, I said that I may switch to something else. Like, I was considering switching to a K30 Ultra, but I mean, there's not too many advantages over it, but I may consider switching to that. But besides that, this is probably the best $300 to $350 phone that you can get. Over $350, I would recommend the K30 Ultra, but under $350, I'd recommend the OnePlus 7 Pro. If you can get the K30 Ultra for if you can get the K30 Ultra for like $300 though, get it 100% over the OnePlus 7 Pro. But overall, this is an amazing phone. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later.